Guys, a lot of people are asking me, is it time to get back into Bitcoin and crypto? Well, today I got a lot of very important charts to show you. I'm going to talk about this, I am going to talk about what's going on behind the scenes, and I'm going to give you an update on Celsius as well. So welcome back everybody, my name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. And Bitcoin is seeing some green, so this is looking good right now. We are seeing some nice pumps. Actually, we did pump above the $20,000 level. We have hit it on the way down as well, retesting this, and so far so good. Now what I want us to do is take out this high right here at 21. I want us to go above this orange box here at 22,300 as well. But my general stance remains the same. I am fine with losing out on timing the exact bottom, just as long as we get some clarity regarding the contagion from the Celsius, the Luna, the 3 arrows, collapse, what more, we don't know. So I still think that sitting on the sidelines right now is not a bad thing to do, because yes, we are seeing some green right now, but the dust has not yet settled from the massive events we have been having now, until I do see some confidence in the market again, and we do see the implications of 3 arrows capital, Celsius, Luna going down. I am fine with losing out on timing the exact bottom. I mean, I think that there's a high probability that we are going to stay within the range of like $22,000 to $17,000. You know, if we stay in this range for quite a while, we are still going to have a lot of time to position ourselves in the crypto markets, and doing it from a much better place once we actually see the dust settle a bit regarding the situations we have been having here. So that is my general stance. Of course, it's never a bad idea to, dollar cost average into Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin during these massive dips. But yeah, going all in at this particular level when we still do not know if you are going to see some more damage from the series of events we've been seeing recently, that is not something I am going to do, at least. So that is my general stance right now. I still think that we overshot to the downside. Going down to 17,500, I still think that that was an overreaction. This is something we haven't really seen in previous history. You can see that we even closed a candle below the 200-week moving average here on the weekly time frame. You can see that we closed this candle right below it. Not only did we go significantly below it, but we actually closed below it. And yeah, we did see a close below it right here as well, but this was much closer to the actual level. We never closed below it right here, and we never closed below it kind of right here, and not here either. So we are seeing definitely an overreaction to the downside. The problem is, I think that we can still have more downside left. Even though we are seeing an overreaction, it doesn't mean that this was all of the overreaction, so to speak. So even though we are definitely in a buy zone here, according to all of the metrics we have been tracking and all of the metrics we have been seeing, it doesn't mean that this is the end of the correction. So waiting for the dust to settle, and then I am getting into some heavy positions here in the crypto market. Also, if you look at this chart, this is the Bitcoin realized loss, and this shows us how much out of all transactions during one particular time, how much of those transactions were at a loss. And you can see that we hit an all-time high right here. We have never seen so many people sell Bitcoin at a loss right here. Now, this is usually at least a short-term bottom. You can see that we had a bottom right here. This was also a very high level, and then we had a little bit of a pump, and then we continued to the downside. So it doesn't mean that it has to be the cycle bottom, but it is usually a local bottom. At least you can see that right here as well, local bottom. You can see right here, local bottom, had a little bit of a pump here. Right here also, local bottom, small little pump, local bottom here, a little bit of a pump. Right here, COVID crash, this was the cycle bottom, and then we took off from that level. This was also the cycle bottom, took off from that level. This was a local bottom, had a massive pump after that, same level here, and then we continued to the downside. So this is usually a good indication that we are at least at a short-term bottom. Now, why did we see a pump in the crypto markets yesterday? Well, SBF actually came out and said that they have bailed out some crypto companies recently to try to limit this crypto crash. Now, I posted this on Twitter yesterday. Where did I get this information from? Well, it was Sam who, in an interview with NPR, said the following, that he believes that they have a responsibility to seriously consider stepping in, even if it is at a loss to ourselves, to stem contagion. And even if we weren't the ones who caused it, I mean the crashes, or weren't involved in it. I think that's what's healthy for the ecosystem, and I want to do what I can help to grow it and to have it thrive. So this is what I posted on Twitter yesterday, and then some people, came out and said that they are actually the reason, FTX and Sam are actually the reason why the crypto markets are going down to begin with recently, because they have been attacking Celsius network. Now, Sam himself came out and said on my tweet that this is definitely false. We want to help those we can in the ecosystem and have no interest in hurting them, and that just hurts us and the whole ecosystem. Now, why do people believe that Sam is actually the one who is attacking Celsius right now? Well, Plan C actually have put together a kind of thesis right here, a story. And he basically also paints the picture that Sam and SBF actually wrecked Celsius here. Now, true or not, let me just give you the gist of the story here. As you know, I have also been talking about this previously when Celsius started to really take a lot of heat and they had to halt withdrawals. I did tell you that Celsius was actually the first major player who withdrew UST from the Anchor protocol and sold, market dumped their entire UST bag, which then started, more players taking out their UST. And one of the major players holding UST and Luna was actually SBF and Alameda here. So during the turmoil, Sam Trabucco, who works with Sam and SBF, said that during the crash, starting to see a little chatter about this. So just to quell it before it gets worse, Alameda hasn't been selling UST and doesn't have any particular plans to. So then the peg really started to go down, and there were reports about a bailout from prominent crypto investors like Jump, Celsius, Jane Street, and maybe Alameda to try to bail out Luna. They were targeting 1 billion to 1.5 billion. The deal never closed, but Do Kwon also, during the turmoil, said that he was close to announcing a recovery plan for UST. There were a lot of reports here saying that, they were very close to sealing this deal. But then Alex came out and said, for the avoidance of doubt, Celsius Network was not and is not involved in any Luna bailouts. So this plan, really started to go south, and then the Luna price continued to go down. So the plan was not relevant anymore at that point. So Celsius got out of the door first and suffered the lowest losses and didn't want any part of the bailout. And the stock holding the UST and Luna bags were Alameda, 3 Arrows Capital, Galaxy Digital, and Jump Capital. Jump later came out and spoke about this and how Celsius selling a lot of their UST definitely contributed a whole lot to the UST peg going down. So this could be one of the points, and this is something I pointed out very early, that a lot of people were very mad with Celsius, probably for dumping their UST in the way they did. And the question is if there was a planned attack on Celsius here. Now, this is just speculation. To be honest, I think that Celsius, the way they have been doing their business, of course, there were flaws in the business. So at the end of the day, they are stuck with a lot of funds, a lot of Ethereum they are not able to really sell. So at the end of the day, it was Celsius themselves, their business practices, who made this attack vector possible to begin with, even if they are attacked. But there is a movement right now with a short squeeze movement where people are trying to buy up Celsius to wreck all of the people who have been shorting Celsius. So yeah, Celsius definitely has a community as well. So it's basically 50-50. Some people think that SBF and Sam did initiate an attack on Celsius, and the other 50% basically thinks that no, it has nothing to do with the SBF. It has everything to do with Celsius and their flawed business practices. Now, what I will say is that we don't really know who Alameda meant when he said that he bailed out some crypto players here. One we do know of is actually Voyager. So Voyager is actually, or Alameda Research is a shareholder in Voyager, who also is a lending platform, and they have extended a massive loan to Voyager amidst the market volatility right now for Voyager to continue their business. Now, we also know that Alameda Research and FTX dumped a lot of STETH to get out first out of that position, and that put a lot of stress on Celsius because most of their funds, or a lot of their funds, is in STETH, which they are not able to unload. So basically, if Celsius got out of USD first and left a lot of, let's say, drama on the back of them selling their entire USD bag, well, Alameda Research sold all of their STETH and left a lot of damage on the back of that. By doing that, Celsius were in a very bad spot. So is it just market participants doing their usual thing, or is there actually some bad blood between them? We do not know that for sure, but I think it would be interesting for SBF to say which companies he have actually bailed out behind the scenes here, apart from Voyager. Lastly, I also want to talk about this. So Solend, I think that this is like a, Aave kind of protocol on Solana. They have a massive whale who was very close to being liquidated, and they actually put in a vote to actually liquidate that whale and handle that OTC. Because if that whale were to be liquidated, that would basically crash the entire Solana price, because it was such a big whale basically. And if he got liquidated, that would drag down the entire Solana market with him. So that was very interesting to see that this is not only spreading into centralized platforms, also decentralized platforms are taking action here, or quote unquote decentralized, because how decentralized can they be if they put in a vote to liquidate a whale on the chain here? So now, one other thing I want to show you today is actually a new software and a new partner of the channel I will be using, and this is super useful because one thing I'm watching right now is the current liquidity on the exchanges. And what you can see is that right to the right here, you can see that there's massive liquidity right around the $20,400 level right here. So you can see that the Bitcoin price is kind of going towards that level. But I am expecting, if these, whales here continue to have liquidity, buy orders at this $20,400 level, then of course there's gonna be some problem getting down below this actual level here. So I am going to keep updating you on this, guys. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. I will try to update you more real time as soon as I see something going on with the liquidity here. And of course, if you want to check it out for yourself, there is a link down in the description. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.